So what's going on, everyone? It's BlazingKid67 here, and today I just want to talk a little bit about RPGs and the next generation of gaming, because you know we're jumping up into that Xbox One, PS4, Wii U generation, and guess what? My main focus, the big question of the day, is how are RPGs going to be affected, and what kind of role are they going to play in this generation? Now, I was watching my friend Sudi's Nintendo Direct live reaction video. I'll actually post that in the description below if you guys want to watch that. I think he showed just about all of the Nintendo Direct, but I was just kind of curious about X. I didn't really care about anything else really, but X is what I was really waiting for. And I saw X, and that game is gonna be a fucking innovative RPG. I've never seen an RPG look so motherfucking good. Oh my god, guys. The environment, the character models, the textures, everything was perfect in the game. And guess what? You could jump into a mech midway in through. I'm like so excited about the game I can't even talk. Midway in a battle, you could jump into a mech. This isn't Titanfall, ladies and gentlemen. This is X. You can jump into a mech and take out your enemies. And not only that, on top of that, I think it looked like there was online, I think it was 4-player co-op, it seemed like, on X. Now that is fucking badass. That is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of games that I want to see in next gen. And Nintendo's the only one that can bring us this particular RPG. Now, we all know the PS4 and Xbox One don't really have any games right now. But what's really worrying me is that I haven't seen any RPGs that are going to really it's kind of like last gen. Last gen had nothing. There was no RPG where I was like, I gotta go to the store and buy that tomorrow, and this is gonna be like the most revolutionary RPG of all time. You know what I mean? They didn't have an RPG like that last gen. Now there were some good RPGs, don't get me wrong. Tales of Grace's F was an amazing RPG. Tales of Vesperia was an amazing RPG. Tales of Exilia, what else? Persona didn't come out. Final Fantasy 13 was not that good. See that kind of craps on us right there. That gave me no hope for future Final Fantasy games after I played 13 and 13-2. I was like, ew. Now Lightning Returns I'm liking right now, but the first two games I was like, what the hell is this, Square Enix? What are you giving me? Not just that, but Bravely Default is a really good RPG also. I've been playing that recently on my 3DS, and that game is fucking beautiful. I love that game so much. An amazing RPG it is. I would have to say it reminds me of playing an RPG in the PS2 era, which we all know that was like the golden age of RPG. Well, I think it was. That's my opinion. I think the PS2 era was like the golden ages of RPGs. Some people will say PlayStation, the original PlayStation, or they would say even further back like the NES, but for me it was definitely the PS2. Now I'm scared because I haven't seen any new RPGs that look like they're going to be coming out on next gen. Like, look at Persona 5. I was hoping Persona 5 was going to be a PS4 and Xbox One game also, but it's not. It's for the PS3, so that gives me another reason to keep my PS3, because I have to get Persona 5. And not just that, but Persona Q, of course, is on Nintendo 3DS, and that I still kind of count 3DS as a last gen console, even though it's kind of moved on to this generation also, but I still call it last gen. Persona Q looks amazing also. So we got Persona 5, we got Q. I heard there's a new Tales game coming out. Tales of Exilia 2 comes out soon, I think this year sometime. Tales of Symphonia Chronicles is coming out in the next 2 weeks, so that's going to be fun. Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 HD Remake is also coming out, so that's going to be another game that I'll be playing. But look at the consoles those games are coming out on. They're all coming out on PS3 and Xbox 360. Where are the Tales games for the PS4? Where are the Persona games for the Xbox One? That's what's worrying me. I mean, And especially Persona, like Shin Megami Tensei, we probably won't have another motherfucking Persona game for like years now. Knowing how he doesn't make, Persona games back to back every year. This isn't Call of Duty. This guy waits like 3, 4, 5 years to make another game. So how long are we gonna wait before we get Persona 6? Is it even gonna be in this generation of consoles? Because we all know he did not like the last generation of consoles. That's why he didn't come out with the Persona game for PS3 and Xbox 360. He didn't like what was given to him. He did not like the Xbox 360 and PS3. He liked the 3DS and the PS Vita. I heard that somewhere in an interview, but he did not like the PS3 and Xbox 360. So hopefully he likes the PS4 and Xbox One. Hopefully he's not gonna shit on them and be like, nah, I don't really want to come out with a game. I'm surprised Persona 5 is on the PS3 actually, because after I read that interview I was like, well, that means there's no hope for a Persona 5 game coming out on PS3, but I guess there is now. But long story short, we don't have any RPGs. I mean, if you guys really want to rely on Final Fantasy 15, that's coming out who knows when. That could come out like 4 years from now and we don't even know it. If you're really relying on that game's not going to be for another like 2 or 3 years. Kingdom Hearts isn't going to come out for another like 4 or 5, maybe even 10 years, maybe not even this generation. They'll probably just put it on the back burner because Nomura is actually working on 15 and he's working on Kingdom Hearts. So that's a lot he's balancing out at one time. So I don't know what the hell's going to be going on there. So let's just take Final Fantasy off the list. Okay, there's a new Tales game coming out, I heard, on PS4. Not sure about Xbox One. Hopefully that's good. Actually, I already know that's going to be good. I mean, Tales games are always good, right? I mean, it's got to be good. Cannot not be good. And we got X. That's all we know so far. That's a good RPG. That's it. Those 3 games. And 2 of those games don't even come out until what? Like probably like 2017, 18. That's Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. And then you got X and you got Tales. Okay, so we're gonna be waiting a long time to actually get some good RPGs out here, and that's worrying me. I want another Ni no Kuni. Have you guys played Ni no Kuni on PS3? That was an amazing RPG. It actually won RPG of the Year last year. I told my friend Reggie this. If you haven't played that and you have a PS3 right now, get the fuck on that PlayStation Store and buy Ni no Kuni right now, or play the demo at the least. That game, it looks so childish, but when you play the game, the story, the gameplay, if you guys have ever thought, like imagined a Pokemon game on a PS3 or Xbox 360, that's the game that you want right there. It's Pokemon on the PS3 and Xbox 360. Well, PS3 only. But it's an amazing game, great story, great characters. Everything was just great in that game. The music, I just loved it so much. But anyways, the lack of RPGs, or the knowledge of RPGs at the moment, is kind of keeping me from buying a PS4 and an Xbox One. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very worried. As a JRPG fan, I'm very worried about if RPGs are even going to be relevant. Like literally, I was on the forums the other day and this guy was literally saying that turn-based is old news. We need to move on. It's an old gameplay mechanic. We don't need that anymore. That is such bullshit. Like literally, is that what all gamers think nowadays? Is turn-based is two generations ago and we can't be playing that right now? There's plenty of games that innovated turn-based combat. I mean, I'm not trying to throw this game out here because I know a lot of us didn't like it, but even Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2, the gameplay, the turn-based gameplay they put in that game was freaking amazing. That was innovative. That was so innovative. People didn't play that, so they don't know about it, but still, turn-based can still be innovative and new and fresh. I don't understand what is going on with people. And I don't know. I think the sales are going to keep these Western companies from releasing these new RPGs here in the US. I have a feeling for the PS4 and Xbox One, we're not going to get a lot of Western RPGs, and that's really sad. I really want a lot of my Japanese role-playing games, man. What am I going to do without my Japanese role-playing games? What am I going to do? I need them. I don't know about you guys, but that's what's keeping me away from the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Tell me your guys' thoughts about this. What do you think is going to happen to JRPGs or RPGs in general? Is it just going to move to Skyrim? Because I'm seeing a big fan base for Skyrim. So are we going to have more open world RPGs? I don't really have a problem with that, but I feel like when I jump into a open world RPG like Skyrim nowadays, I don't know how I can put it. There's just so much I can do, and it doesn't really give you a direction. It's like, hey, you have this big open world, do whatever the fuck you want. And I don't know, I like to be more structured and a little bit more linear than that. That's just way too much for me nowadays. Like, I loved Oblivion, but for some reason Skyrim, I could not play it. That open world RPG gameplay, it's not for me anymore. I gotta be more linear. You gotta give me a story. I gotta care about some characters. I gotta like the music. There's so much in an RPG that I want that I feel like we're not gonna get. Hopefully X revolutionizes RPGs. It looks like it's going to. I'm gonna buy it. I strongly suggest other people buy it. Go look at the gameplay. Go look at that motherfucking Nintendo Direct gameplay, because it looks amazing. X looks like it's gonna beat every game's ass in 2014. Hey, that's what I'm saying right now. You guys can hate on me. I know a lot of people are gonna hate on me, but I think X is gonna kick any game's ass that's coming out. I don't give a fuck about Call of Duty, Battlefield. I don't care what game you play. X is gonna just shit on it entirely. But yeah, tell me what you guys' ideas are for the JRPGs. What's gonna happen? Are they gonna shrink? Are they gonna go away? Are we gonna get less this generation? I mean, if we do, that's gonna be sad. But tell me your guys' thoughts on this in the comments below. Peace out, y'all. Hope you like this commentary. I'll see you later.